Hello, friends, and welcome to the Cinemondo podcast with Kathy. Where's
Nope.
Mark? Mark
He had
has
to work.
returned to his home planet. He's visiting family on the home planet. He lives
Yep.
on Pluto, actually, which is not actually a planet anymore,
No,
but
it's not.
planetoid. So Mark will be back next time.
It's too bad we're not talking about a sci-fi movie. This would have been perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I am very excited though because I just found out and I just started seeing these promos that PS2 is about to come out. Ponniyin Selvan 2 is about to come out. Now that I feel like
Oh,
I
I thought you were
just saw
talking
that.
about PlayStation.
I know everybody says other what PlayStation. It's like no, Ponniyin
Oh.
Selvan 2.
Ah.
PS1, we call them PS1 in the know. We call them
Oh.
PS1.
Ah.
It was a it came out about a year ago, I think, and I saw it in the theater and then I watched it again streaming. So I've seen it twice. And it's one of these big, grand, beautiful period pieces that you think is gonna be really serious and a bit of a slog because it's kind of Game of Thronesy, but it's not. It's like
Right.
it's got a sense of humor. It's very bright and it was very entertaining, and the characters were really vivid, but they also had a little bit of sense of humor. I think a lot of that was probably the actors because it's Vikram and Karti and Jayam Ravi. So especially
Oh.
Karti, every time he saw a girl, he was like falling down and slobbering. It was hilarious. So it was kind of cute. So it's based on some books that came out like in the 50s, and he's adapting them pretty faithfully. So he
Oh.
did part one, and these are epic, very beloved books. So now we have part two coming out, and it's going to be the continuing journey of this guy's journey to become the big historic ruler of the South India Empire. The director is
Oh,
Mani
okay.
Ratnam, and he's doing it again. But the big news is R Rahman, who is known to everyone for Slumdog Millionaire, for which he won an Oscar,
Right.
but he does every great soundtrack. He's like the John Williams of India. Like if you you see a movie, it's always A.R. Rahman. He's like top billing too. He's
Right.
that kind of guy.
Yeah.
Like he's not just he did the music. He's like, oh, he did the music. I'm gonna see this movie now. He's a
Right.
marketing tool. So,
Yeah.
so excited. So part of what we're
Well,
gonna do
music
here
is an
today,
important thing, and
it is. It can
mu
sometimes make or break a
music is
film.
filmmaking. I mean, it is making a film. I've talked to a lot of
Mhm.
people who do who score films and do soundtracks, and I've always felt like that. I've always felt like
Yep.
that is filmmaking. It's like
So huge.
Bernard Herrmann is just as much of a filmmaker as Alfred
Yes.
Hitchcock. He is a filmmaker
That's right.
in in that respect. It's
That's right.
music, but it's
Mhm.
actually in the context of the film. Can you there's certain films, like if you take out the soundtrack, take out the music, it doesn't work as well.
Doesn't work. No, and sometimes, I like the soundtrack better than the movie. So that's kind of interesting too. Or
Or the
it'll make me
soundtrack
like a
can
bad song if I hear a
or
song in the right context.
uh, the music can make you like a bad movie, you mean? Like a
No,
movie that's not great,
that
or
too,
the
but
movie can make you like the music.
if there's a super cheesy song, like Reservoir Dogs had that, Stuck in the Middle with You.
Right.
So that song isn't something I would particularly like, but now every time I hear it, it reminds me of the movie and I like it. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So, but
Okay.
this is special because we have a few things going here. A bunch of promos are starting to come out. They're starting that onslaught of incredible marketing that India does so well.
Right.
So they released ahead of the music, the video that we're going to react to, the main event, Aga Naga. We have a little clip, tiny promo that just came out of R Rahman directing the orchestra for the song. So I just wanted to play that really fast so we could see how that looks.
Cool. Yeah.
Let's take a quick
Should
peek
I
at that.
should I slate it?
We don't need a
Are you
slate for
ready
these.
to
We'll slate the main event.
Okay.
You can if you'd like.
Wait a
We
minute.
can slate
Just
it.
wait. Okay.
Okay. All right, here we go. We're gonna take a look at this little quick promo. Okay.
Okay.
Started.
PS2.
So
Nice.
I love seeing like them in the studio, and then you see everybody
Yeah.
in their t-shirts, and she's gonna be. We're gonna hear this woman's incredible voice very soon. It's gonna be
You
like,
know what's interesting about behind the scenes thing is I have a real good sense of what we call I've worked on sets, movie sets, film sets, TV sets,
mhm,
music videos, advertisements, everything you can imagine. And there are different kinds of vibes on the set, and some are, I call them healthy sets, and some are unhealthy sets.
yeah,
And when you can tell that people are having fun making films, it shows in the film when you're done with the film. If the film
mhm,
is something that you is described in reviews as joyous or
yes,
fun filled or uplifting, those kind of things, those are
mhm,
generally films that had happy, healthy sets. And when
right.
you see people working on things like this and they're smiling and they look like they're enjoying being in the studio on, probably 14-hour days or more,
Yeah,
that's what filmmaking is, but it has to be happy and it has to be collaborative and you have to feel respected
mhm, yes.
and like your
That's all.
creativity is expected. Yeah.
And really,
Respected.
everyone should expect that at work. Be
Yes.
taught respectfully, to be treated respectfully, and then complimented for good work. And that, sadly, it doesn't happen that often.
But that's
So,
why I like
and
to see
now
behind the scenes stuff like
I
that. I
love
like to
that.
look at people's faces like, are they happy? Are they being treated right? Is that person treating them with respect? Is the director
Exactly.
condescending to them, or is he being a jackass? Or, it's like
No,
I
no,
wanna
seriously. Uh-huh.
you get a
So now
get a
we're
feel.
gonna do. If you like behind the scenes, you're gonna love this next little clip. This is actually a promo called "The Cholas Are Back," so we're gonna watch that. This is just sort of a behind the scenes, like the gang is back, the band is back together. Here we are. This is very very fun. So we're gonna take a look at this now. You ready?
Cool. Do you have it loaded? Do you want me to slate
I
it?
got it. I got it loaded. Here we go.
Can I slate it? Can I slate
Go
it?
ahead, slate it. Please slate it.
Okay, here we go. And action.
பொன்னியின் செல்வன்றது வந்து ரியல் அண்ட் ஃபிக்ஷன் மிக்ஸ் பண்ண விஷயங்கள் தான்.
எல்லாம் சொல்ல முடியாது.
Big secret.
வணக்கம், நான் ஆதித்ய கரிகாலன். நான் பல்லவரையன் வந்திருப்பேன்.
நான் பொன்னியின் செல்வன்.
You will witness something we have not seen before. அந்த அழகான காதலுக்குள்ள வர விஷயங்கள், அந்த காதலே ஒரு வில்லனா இருக்கும். அது 2ல தான் ஆமா.
அருள்மொழிவர்மர் வந்து உயிரோட இருக்காரா இல்லையான்னு தெரியாம தவிக்கிற ஒரு அப்பாவும் குடும்பமும் இருக்கு.
அது PS2 அதனால இப்ப
April 28th is coming up very quickly.
Yeah.
We're about to have an onslaught of PS2 advertising, I would think.
Cool.
Promotion, I think, is more like the. I love just seeing them sing around in their street clothes and just singing around, just giving each other shit, and then you see them out in the field and they're like.
It's always funny on period, in period films where you got people dressed in these,
Yeah.
2,000-year-old costumes and they're sitting there like
looking at their phones. So it was I love seeing that because you get excited, like you're seeing old friends again. Like I saw that, I'm like, oh my god, they're back.
Yeah.
And it's so soon after the last one, so they're just coming, fast and furious. So you're not having to wait like 5 years for a sequel. You get to see it right away, so you feel like you're still involved, you're still connected.
Yeah.
And you have time. Everyone, this is time. You have to see the PS1. Now's the time. It's all available. Get out there, look at streaming. You can now find it anywhere. Just take a look at it. It's super entertaining. It isn't. It has violence, but it's not super gory violence. So even though they're jumping and hitting with axes and spears, it's not gratuitously gross. So you can watch it with your family and still enjoy it. But it's still it's got its moments. But I'm just saying. All right. So and I have a very high bar for that. So I noticed it when it's not there. So okay. So
Right.
here we go. We're gonna watch the song. Now you really slayed it.
So this is this. You want me to slate it? You want me to slate it?
Slayed it. Slayed it. Slayed it. Slayed it.
Are we ready?
We're ready.
And action.
Aga Naga, Aga Naga, Muga Naga, Muga Naga, Muga Naga, Muru Naga, Muru Naga, Muru Naga, Taru Naga, Taru Naga, Taru Naga, Varu Naga. யாரது யாரது புன்னகை கோர்ப்பது யாவிலும் யாவிலும் என் மனம் சேர்ப்பது நடை பழகிடும் தொலை அரவுகளே முகில் கொடுத்திடும் மலை முகடுகளே கொடை பிடித்திடும் நெடுமரச் செறிவு பனி உதிர்த்திடும் சிறு மலர் துளியே அழகிய புலமே உரதில மகிழ்ந்தான் வளவனின் நிலமே எனதரசியும் நீ வளநில சிரிப்பே எனது இரடியோ உனதிலம் வரப்பே எனக்கிரிதடியோ உனை நினைக்கையிலே மனம் செலுத்திடுதே உன் வழி நடந்தால் உயிர் மலர்ந்திடுதே உன் மடி கிடந்தால் தவி தவிக்கிறதே நினைவழிந்திடுதே அகநக அகநக முகநகையே முகநக முகநக முருநகையே முருநக முருநக கருநகையே தருநக தருநக வருநகையே யாரது யாரது புன்னகை கோர்ப்பது யாவிலும் யாவிலும் என் மனம் சேர்ப்பது யாரது யாரது புன்னகை கோர்ப்பது யாவிலும் யாவிலும் என் மனம் சேர்ப்பது.
Whoa. I love analog instruments.
Very pretty song. Yeah,
So
and
pretty.
and we saw in the behind the scenes thing that there's like fully acoustic orchestra, analog, like real strings and
Isn't
harps
that
and
sad?
whatnot.
That's like something you have to
I
like
know,
reach
yeah,
for, like, and it makes a difference. And then that gorgeous voice. Oh my god. I
yeah,
love to first of all, I love that it was animated. I love the beautiful, super simple graphic animation because they had footage, but they went, you know what? Let's do this and make it really teasery, very beautiful and simple, kind
and
of
it has that
sepia
kind of
tone.
nostalgic vibe to it because it's on
Uh,
that sort of sepia, almost like it's an old illustration come to life. Like the flowers just moving, like
mhm.
an illuminated manuscript, like something that you would see in a museum or something from
Yes.
the past. And you were saying these are based on books that were written in the 50s, right?
Right.
So what's interesting that I think, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but to me it sounded like this music was kind of a 50s style um,
Hmm.
Indian film music, because there's music in films in India is a long history, as we all know, and
Yeah.
I have a bunch of old records, old Indian film records that I really love, and there's some some websites where you can dig into it, and I love the old stuff like the 50s and 60s and
Yeah.
70s, but the older stuff I think has that kind of feel to it. It has the real orchestral feel and
Yes.
really sweet, like flowing, really sweet music. I don't know.
Mhm.
We didn't have subtitles on this, so I didn't really know what the song was about, but I
Yeah.
can guess, sort of.
Put in the comments what the lyrics are if you speak Tamil.
Yeah. Something to do
I
with
also
romance, I think. Romance. I don't know. But it was
possibly.
but it's like this really beautiful old
Yeah.
school kind of song, I think. I think it
Mhm.
kind of to someone who's more well versed in the Indian cinematic history and in the cinematic history regarding music in Indian films, I think they were maybe going for a nostalgic sound with the music as far as like the instrumentation of flutes and the strings
Yeah.
and the plucked strings, the do, 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 do,
Mhm.
the
I
pizzicato
love that.
strings. They were kind of going for something it kind of gave you the old school vibe in
That's
the
true.
Indian film music, I think.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned the language. We don't really know the meaning yet because we try not to get too ahead of these so that we can just
Right.
react. But I love how they had the lyrics written out as she was singing them so that you could sing
Right.
along because I love to
Right.
sing phonetically to a lot of the Indian music that's coming out, like a lot of the songs,
Yeah.
soundtracks. But I'm sort of making it up. But I love how I was able to sort of, in a way, in my head, I was able to sort of sing to myself in my head, knowing how the lyrics looked. I was able to kind of do that. So I love that they even just had that and they were spelled out as she sang them. Also, the singer is
Yeah.
Shaktisari Gopalan, and it was written by Yango Krishnan, and of course the
Okay.
music is by A R Rahman.
Huh.
But God, her voice was so like effortlessly like fluid and beautiful, like just
And kind of
breathtaking.
that old style of singing, it was
Yeah.
to me it sounded nostalgic. To me it sounded old
Mhm.
school and correct me if I'm misinterpreting, but I loved it. I thought it was very very nicely produced and had a really
Did.
rich sound to it, which is nice to hear. It didn't have like a groovy dance,
Oh, it's very
EDM
simple.
kind of dance music kind of vibe to it. It was like totally that could have been recorded in the 50s.
It's gorgeous. So there we are. Our reaction to many of the marketing materials. Oh, and one more thing, because before we leave, we have a poster real quick. Might as well do it all, right? We
Yes.
have a poster. The only poster so far is this one. So we have the classic, they're bringing back everybody. They're letting you know all the characters you loved from the first movie are coming back. You get the lineup of all the great actors, the Karti and Vikram. You see all these guys front and center. I love that the women are getting a lot of prominence in this, so that's great to see. But
Right.
it ties in. It's branded. It's showing you kind of the same logo treatment. They just added 2 instead, so it's very very branded as a series film. So
Yeah.
lots of action at the bottom, but so excited.
Yeah.
We're almost here, April 28th. So I expect to see a lot more songs and trailers and glimpses and promos very soon.
And we're gonna talk about them. We're gonna talk
We're
about
gonna
these
talk
things
about
as they come up, I think.
it. That's right.
So expect about 100 more different promotional reviews as
I
they
love it. I
as they
love it.
roll
So
it out. Yeah.
America has a lot to learn. All right. See you guys later.
Yeah. Bye everybody.
Bye.